If you've ever bought a planner and abandoned after 2 weeks or less, this is why and how to use a planner. I have one task that you should carry out before you continue watching this video. Go to your Google Calendar and set a reminder. You choose a time. You choose a time that is most convenient for you. But say 9 p.m. daily. So you input it as a reminder in your calendar. Daily planning, or however you want to name it, and you set the time 9 p.m. and you set it to repeat daily. So every day at 9 p.m. you're going to get a notification reminding you that it is time to plan. Go as well to alarms. Set an alarm in your phone to ring every day at 9 p.m. This is just so that you remove the burden from your brain of, oh, I have to plan, oh, I've forgotten to plan, oh, I need to, like, remove the burden from your brain. Because when you rely only on your brain to remind you that you have to do something, it may really get complicated, because you may get so caught up in doing so many things that you don't even remember that you have to plan. Pause this video right now and go to your Google Calendar and your alarm and set the reminder now. When you do that, only when you do that, come back and continue watching the video. I'm waiting for you. Are you done? Alright, let's move ahead. Also going to tackle one mistake that most people make when they get a Goal Digger planner that you should not make. I want to set everything straight before we actually go into the actual explaining of the different sections. So the problem is that when you get a planner, there are the daily pages, right? The pages that you're supposed to use to do your daily planning. The problem is that when you get a planner, you go right straight into the daily planning pages. What are you trying to plan when you have not defined any goals? You have not defined any goals. You have not defined any objectives or targets that you have to hit, but you're going right straight into the planning pages. That's one of the highest things that contributes to you not following through with your planning every day, because it's going to make you to feel like, what am I even planning? What am I even working on? It feels like it's just a generic, okay, I'm going to school, I go to school from 8 to maybe 3 p.m. I come back home. You really don't have anything to put in your planner, because you have not even taken out time to carry out the most important task, which is defining your vision, your long-term goals, short-term goals, breaking them down into actionable steps. And that's what's going to help you to know what you're going to be using to do your daily planning, because you have broken down all those goals that you really want to achieve, and now that's what you're going to be inputting in your daily planning, which makes more sense because now you're actually taking daily actions on things that you really want to do. So please, first things first, do not rush to go and start using the daily planning pages. Take out time to carry out exactly what I'm telling you to do right now, and we actually have pages like that inside the planner. So let's get into the planner. We are starting with your vision. We have the section for aspirational and 3-year vision. Aspirational vision is like your vision in the next 10 years. Where do you want to be in the different aspects of your life, be it spiritually, physically, mentally, relationally, financially, professionally, and personally. You're going to define your vision. That's for the next 10 years. And then you're going to now bring it down based on the next 10 years. Bring it down, okay, from these things that I really want to achieve in the next 10 years in these different areas of my life, what are the immediate things that I should be able to achieve in the 3 years period? So that's why you have the aspirational vision and you have the 3-year vision. Please, this is so important. Take out time, like take out time in your day, maybe let's say 2 hours, where you're going to really sit down and concentrate on setting your plan for the new year, starting with the vision, starting with defining your vision. What is it that you really want for yourself in the different areas of your life? Financially, in fact, all of those areas I've already listed. Take out time and think about it. If you have difficulties with even coming up with a vision for yourself, you can go online and search, how can I really define a vision for myself, and take out time and carry out that activity, because it's the basis of every other thing that follows. Because what are you planning for if you don't even have a vision? What exactly are the things that you're planning for? Please, this is very important. So you can use your notebook. Use the notebook that comes with your planner. Take that time and just do like a brain dump of everything that you really want in the different aspects of your life. Do a brain dump, and then now you can pick out the really important things, the things that you're connected with, that you connect with so much more, and that's what you're going to write on this page of your aspirational vision. And then from there, you see you can have a very big goal, like okay, you want to have maybe, if you run a restaurant business, you want to have like 10 restaurants spread across the 10 regions of Cameroon. Now, what are the immediate things that you have to do in the next 3 years? So maybe in the next 3 years you should have at least opened already one or maybe two of those restaurants. It means that you're on the way to that your 10-year vision. In 3 years, this is what you should have been able to do. So you're basically just taking from the aspirational vision and breaking it down a little more to your 3-year vision. I hope it's clear. If it's not clear, make sure you ask questions in the comment section, okay? Now, when you leave your vision, that's where you enter your 12-month goals. So now, okay, you have in the next 10 years, you have in the next 3 years. Now, what's the immediate thing that you have to do in the next 12 months, which is basically what you're going to or what you really want to achieve in 2026? Because 2026 is the next 12 months. So, like, I hope you are seeing how everything is linked. From your 10-year vision, you break it down to 3 years. From 3 years, you break it down to 1 year. Okay, from all of these things that I've put in place now for my 3-year vision, what are the things that I want to do immediately in the next 1 year? So you're following through from what you've written for the next 3 years. Now you break it down the next 1 year. Okay, maybe my vision for the next 3 years was to be able to probably, I'm taking a random example, let's say you maybe run a fashion brand, you have a fashion brand, and your 3-year vision is to be able to open like a showroom. You want to open a showroom for your fashion brand where people can walk in and see your pieces. So you want to open a showroom. What now is the thing that you have to do immediately in this next 12 months or in this 1 year that is before the 3-year vision? What now do you have to do immediately in 1 year? That's where you break it down. Let me talk a little bit about how to set your goals before you go ahead to now define your 12-month goals. Your goals have to be smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. Your goals that you set have to have all of these aspects. For it to make sense, you need to take time and have all of these aspects clear for all of the goals that you have. And the easy method as well is for you to set goals according to categories. Like I already mentioned some categories earlier. We have spiritually, physically, mentally, relationally, financially, professionally, and personally. It helps you to not leave out a particular aspect because you are working with these different headings that you're going to use to set goals for each of them. So with all of this information, now you can be able to set smart goals. So let's take an example. Your goal is to buy yourself a new phone in 2026. What you should not say is, I will get a new phone in 2026. That is not really a goal. It's just kind of like a wish because there's nothing that is really giving it flesh. So a good way to write this goal is, I get an orange iPhone 17 Pro Max by the 30th of June, which will cost me 1 million francs. I don't know how much it is. I'm just estimating. It's clear because it is specific. It is orange. It is 17 Pro Max. You know how much it's going to cost, 1 million. You know when you're supposed to get it. There's a time frame to it. So that is how every single goal that you're setting, you should set it. You should have all of these aspects so that you can easily follow up. You know that okay, by 30th of June, my goal is to get a phone. So you put things in place to be able to do these things. I hope it's clear. So that's the method that you have to use to set your goals. Now, after setting your 12-month goals, the next page that we have is my year at a glance. We have January to December. So it means that in each of these months now, you want to be able to see everything that you want, that you have to do in the year. So for January, you write specifically the things that have to be done in January, specifically the things that have to be done in February, right up to December, such that in a particular month, you just come, okay, my year at a glance, January. What are the main things I have to do in January? With this main thing that I have to do in January now, it's going to help me for the next step, which is planning for the month of January. Because from my year at a glance, the things I have to get done in January, you'll not be able to know exactly what are the things I have to do in January. And now you break them down. You break them down into actionable steps. I'm going to come to that again, but now we have a vision board because you know, okay, my year at a glance, you know what's supposed to be done January to December. Now you just have to find like pictorial representations. You can go to Pinterest you find pictorial representations of the thing that you want to achieve, and you print more pictures, and you can just use some glue, and you paste the pictures in your vision board. You can actually equally have a very large vision board that you're going to put in your room, but this one is a vision board for your planner, so that every time, so when you're going through your planner, you can equally come and visit your vision board and look at the pictorial representations of the things that you want to achieve. It's also going to help you on the process of actually working on achieving your goals, because I mean, you can actually see it. You're visualizing how your own is going to be through these pictures that you're going to put in your planner. From your 12-month goals, you break it now to your 12-week goals. 12-week goals is just like the goals for the first 3 months of the year. Because the problem is when you're thinking about the whole year, you keep feeling like you have a lot of time. No, it's a goal for so and so. Like you're saying, okay, no, there's still this whole 2026 ahead of me to get these things done. No, the best way is to break it down. Okay, you're working now specifically. What are the things I have to do in the first 12 weeks of the year? So you're locking in to actually work on, okay, the first 12 weeks, what are the things I have to do? When you're thinking in terms of weeks, it makes it like it gives you a little bit more pressure than thinking in terms of months. In terms of months, you feel like you still have, oh, I still have all the 12 months ahead of me. Even if January is finished, you still feel like, oh, I still have all the 11 months in front of me. But when you're thinking in terms of 12 weeks, when 1 week goes and you have 11 weeks left, it feels like you don't really have a lot of time again. Like 1 week out of 12 is much, much more valuable, because you start seeing that you don't really have much time. Because one thing is that we give ourselves deadlines, like, and then for the fact that we have January to December, there's just like an automatic deadline that comes into our minds, which is December, and it's still far off. So you keep putting things off, like I still have to December. But now to be able to give yourself more deadlines within the year, you break it down into 12 weeks. So it means you're going to have 4 12 weeks in the year. So it has kind of like mentally introduced 3 extra deadlines, instead of thinking only about okay, I need to do this by December. You're thinking about the first 12 weeks. I need to do this by the 12th week. I need to do this by the 12th week. It actually inputs much more urgency in the things that you want to do, because it introduces more deadlines with regards to the things that you want to do. So basically, you'll be breaking down from the 12 months. You now write down what are the things that have to get done in the first 12 weeks. That's January, February, and March. And then you write down now specifically for January, February, and March, what am I supposed to do? I hope you understand me. We are breaking it down to this, like we're trying to break it down to this smaller, so that you don't get overwhelmed by thinking about the very large goal. You are thinking about what you have to get done immediately in the first 12 weeks, in January, in February, and in March. If something is not clear, please do well to ask in the comment section, and I'm going to try to explain better. We move on to goal breakdown. You have said what you have to do in the first 12 weeks. Now you need to break each of those goals down into small actionable steps, because it's on those small steps now that you'll be able to do your daily planning, because you're not planning again for the big goal, but you're planning, okay, what do I have to do? What is the tiny step I have to do to move the needle? Okay, let's take the example that you already had a goal of wanting to get your phone by June. So it means that from the start of the year to June is like 6 months. So you need to bring it back, break it down. Okay, I'm breaking down this goal. If I have to get my phone by June 30th, what are the things I have to start doing in January to ensure that by June that goal is going to become a reality? That's basically what we're talking about by breaking down the goal. So first of all, there's the part of detail. So detail out the goal. What exactly is this goal? What exactly is it that you want to achieve? And then now step by step. So it means that what are the different steps? So talking about the phone, you need in first, so you now define what do I need to actually make this goal a reality. You know that you need 1 million francs. 1 million francs is the money that is going to cost you to get the phone. Now, this is where the aspect of being realistic comes in. It's true, yes. You know that things happen. Things happen, but now don't give yourself a goal that you know that is abstract, because sometimes when you give yourself some kind of goals, instead discourages you, because you're not going to be able to even do it, because it's not realistic with regards to where you are in life at the moment. So let's say for instance, okay, you want to get a phone and that phone costs you 1 million francs. It means that you already should have some sources of income that are going to permit you to save money, and you have a business that will permit you to save money. So let's say for instance you have a job where you're earning maybe a salary of 300,000, and you have your business that brings in brings in money for you. You have a salary from your business of like 150,000 francs. Then you know that okay, every month I need to be able to maybe take out 100,000 francs from my salary, or take out 50,000 francs from my salary, and take out 50,000 francs from what my business is producing for me. So it means that I'm saving 100,000 francs every month. But now you see that from January to June, if you're saving 100 francs every month, that's 600,000 francs. Means that it's not yet complete. You still need somewhere to be able to get 400,000 francs from. That's why when you break it down, it's clearer. It means I need to probably put in more effort in my business, and my business is going to be able to produce much more money, and I'll be able to save more money from the business. So it means that you're working on increasing sales of your business, so that you'll be able to now be able to take out 100,000 francs instead of 50,000 francs. You're able to take out 100,000 francs from your business every month. So you see how everything is connected, because you have broken down the goal. You now know that your business has to produce more, meaning that the goal for your revenue of your business too, you need to take into consideration all the different things that you have to do with money. So I hope we're seeing how this is coming together, because you're breaking down the goal, is making you to see clearly what other aspects are going to contribute for you to actually achieve that goal, and how you can ameliorate it. And you do this breakdown for every single goal that you have, so that it is very clear to you as to what you're supposed to do. And then now, when you've broken down, especially everything that has to do with money, all the goals that have to do with money, first of all, we're working on it being realistic. Always remember that we're working on all of these things that has to do with money. When you finish now, you can accumulate, okay, this is the money that I need to do certain things. And then now, from that, you can be able to set a goal now for your business in terms of the amount of sales that you need to work on making, because this is the money that the business has to produce for you to be able to get all of these other things done. Which means that now you can start thinking about, okay, normally my business produces this. It means I need to now put a budget for marketing to increase my ads budget, so that I can be able to run more ads and get more business, get more customers to actually purchase my things. I hope we're seeing how all of this is connected, guys. Please, if there's an aspect of it that is not clear, do well to ask me, and I will remind you again that this aspect, all of what I'm explaining now, is very crucial for you now to be able to do your daily planning. So after doing all of the goal breakdowns, we have a page for weekly plan and weekly review. So at the start of every week, probably maybe on a Sunday evening before you start your week on Monday, you take out time to set your weekly plan. And what is this weekly plan coming from? It's coming from your January goals. Let's say we're talking about January. It's coming from the goals I have to achieve in January. That is what you use to set your plan for the week, because it's from aspects of those goals that you're going to be inputting. Okay, because I have this goal, I'm inputting the fact that I need to make this number of sales this week. I need to do this week, and then you put a plan for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right up to the weekend. And at the end of the week now, you have these questions that you're going to use to assess yourself, to assess your week. How well did you do, and what you're supposed to improve moving forward to the next week. So we have all of these pages for weekly review and weekly plan. And then after that, now there's the page that we have for your daily routine, the morning and the night routine. So this page is for you to define, okay, how exactly do I want my morning routine to be? How do I want my night routine to be? What are the things that I have to do, and at the time? This is because this is what's going to help you to build habits, because you're going to build habits, which is going to translate into you having a routine, things that you do every morning. You know that from when you wake up 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., this is my exact morning routine. Or maybe in the night before you go to bed, you know that from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., this is exactly what you have to do before you go to bed. So you set this routine, and then you're working on it daily. You're working on it daily because you want it to become part and parcel of you. So you're working on it. You're making sure that every morning when you wake up, you're following your morning routine. Every night before you go to bed, you're following your night routine. And then we have recurring tasks: daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. This is just to write things that you need, so it helps you to not forget them when you're planning. Like, you know that daily, this is a task that you carry out daily. You write there to remind you, okay, this task I carry it out weekly, I write it here. I carry this task out Monday, you write it there, so that when you're planning as well for your days, you come back here and you know that this recurring task must feature in your plan for the week, or they must feature in your plan for the day. So this is all just to remove the stress of you having to remember everything mentally, and you're putting it down on paper so you can always come back here and refer to it. Now, happy new month. We are now on our monthly objectives, because you have already defined, okay, these are your goals for January now, and you have broken them down. So you're basically transferring all of those steps, all of the tasks that you're supposed to carry out to actually move yourself towards that goal. That is what is going to be your objective for the month of January. You're writing down everything. So let's say objective for the month of January is for you to maybe make 50 sales of the clothes that you're selling. So you need to sell 50 pieces. That's what you write here, and you're setting objectives for every aspect of your life that you're working on. And now the main page, which is top priority. Now the main page is the daily planning page. So if you're taking out time to do every other thing, what you're supposed to be doing, your daily planning page is going to be now very clear. You have a top priority. The main thing that you want to do on that particular day is what you write here as top priority. Then your to-do list, you're listing everything that you want to do on that particular day. Remember, this is as a result of what are your objectives for January, which have come forth because you have broken down the goals that you set for yourself initially. Because from all of this breakdown now, that's how you know what you're supposed to be doing on a daily basis with respect to the different aspects of your life that you're working on. So you write your to-do list, and then now you schedule it. You're giving each task a particular time that you have to get it done. You know that, okay, at this time or this block from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. and I'm at work. From 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. I'm doing this and that based on what you have on your to-do list. You're giving now an exact time frame for all of the tasks so that you don't forget. Because if you write only a to-do list and then you don't give it an exact time frame, time is going to be passing, and you only realize after that, oh, I had to do this thing. Meanwhile, the schedule is for you to give it an exact time, such that every time that you come back and check your planner, you know, oh, this is the time that I'm supposed to be doing this thing. This is the time I'm supposed to be doing this thing. It reminds you because you've given those tasks particular time frames. Now you have daily affirmations. These are just things that you can write every morning, and a gratitude list, just to show gratitude, what you're thankful for, what you're grateful for to God. You're grateful for your family, for your business, for your customers. You're grateful, like you're just writing things that you're grateful for, even your daily affirmations, just to remind you, just to put you in a very good mood or a good spirit every morning. You write your gratitude, you write your daily affirmations. I am strong, I am smart, I am intelligent, I'm a child of God. Like these are just things to just help boost your spirit. But remember, you need to put in the work, and that's why I've explained everything that I've explained here. So you put in the work, and then your daily planning is going to be easier. Now we have some extra empty pages at the end of the planner, just so that you can, if you have any random ideas, you can write them down. We equally have the 100-page notebook. This is equally for things like if you have things to write down, you want to take out your time, and maybe you're doing a brain dump, you want to just empty your brain into somewhere, you can use this notebook basically to write anything that you want, anything. You have ideas, you write in your notebook. So you know that every time that you're looking for ideas that you have, you come here. Instead of having so many random notebooks, you have written one here, you have written the other one in another book, and then you can never locate it. But now you just say that, okay, my notebook is for every idea that I have. So you know that this is the one place that you're coming to refer and to check for anything that you wrote that you're going to achieve. Last but not the least, the habit tracker. The habit tracker has a place where you write the habits, and it's numbered 1 to 31. And then we have the different columns: expected performance, actual performance, and percentage success. So basically, if you're working on the habits, you want to read your Bible more. So the habits, what you're writing there is read your Bible more. And now your expected performance is, okay, we have 1 to 31. How many days in a week do you want to read your Bible? Maybe you want to read your Bible every day. Your expected performance is 31 on 31. So it means that every day you can just hang your habit tracker on your wall, and every day you come here and you look at it. Okay, on day 1, I read my Bible, you tick. On day 2, I forgot to read my Bible, you mark an X. On day 3, you tick. The fact that you have a habit tracker and it's hanging somewhere even just reminds you when you wake up in the morning, oh, I need to read my Bible. It serves as something that is going to remind you without you having to remind yourself, because the habit tracker is there and the habits that you're working on are there. So it means that at the end of the day, at the end of the month now, you now know your expected performance. You now know your actual performance. Okay, I needed to score 31 on 31, but what I actually have here is maybe 21 on 31, and now you know your percentage success. You calculate your percentage success from what you actually did and what you expected to do, meaning that after you have been able to do this for the first month, you know now that you need to ameliorate moving forward, because your performance that you had was 21 on 31. You know that moving forward you need to have better than what you had before. So you had 21 on 31, your aim is to score better. You understand? So you're doing this for all of these habits, and you're tracking your performance, and all you're working on is having an increasing percentage success. In month one, I had maybe 70%. You're working on having 75, 80, or why not 100% in the next month. So you're tracking all of these habits. You're also maybe tracking the habit of planning daily. So another, in the habit section, you equally write planning, and every day you're ticking, or you're marking an extra ticking, and at the end of the day you know your actual performance, and you can be able to calculate your percentage success. I think that I've been able to explain everything, from the planners, the notebooks, the habit tracker. If you have any questions at all, you want me to explain something better, like I said, don't forget to ask in the comment section, and I'm going to definitely explain to you. So if you're tired of starting and stopping, this is for you. I hope you've been able to get the maximum out of what I've explained. This is not just a planner, but it's basically a system put in place to help you to really work on your goals. So if you're interested, you want to get a planner set for yourself, head over to our website www.gozigabyk.com, and you can place your order. Or if you want to ask a question, you can head over to gozigabyk on Instagram or on TikTok, and you can send a DM, and we can talk about it before maybe making your purchase. Okay, so remember, big goals don't fail because of laziness. They fail because they are too vague, and that's why you need to always take your time and break them down into actionable steps. So come back to this video anytime, every time, for a fresh perspective. Ciao.